What is up YouTube, it's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we're here with another deck profile. Today we are going to be going over super awesome high flying deck for Nova Grappler. This is going to be Beast Deities. So while Beast Deities has been around for the majority of V at this point, I believe, all the way from like Luminal Dragon in the very beginning, Resort Dragon and whatnot, I think that now it's kind of in the best spot that it has been, period. It is actually decently competitively viable. I believe it's definitely one of the top tier budget, I would say, decks or best value decks currently right now in the V Premium meta. I'm going to show you guys my deck list and how to kind of go off with multiple Vanguard swings. Yes, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, potentially 4, I believe is the max Vanguard swings over here in this kind of build. So very excited to bring this to you guys. Without further ado, let's hop right in. Alright, before I begin in the deck profile itself, I just wanted to quickly mention that if you are interested in purchasing any of the cards that you see here today, we do have a TCG Player affiliate link down in the description below. You can drop that link to help support the channel, absolutely no cost to you. On top of that too, we do have a Twitter now, so go follow us on Twitter, see our locals results every single week when new videos are posted, so on and so forth. And then lastly, if you are enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like on this video, possibly consider subscribing to the channel, definitely appreciate it. So with all that out of the way, let's hop right into the deck. Alright, jumping right into the deck profile itself now. So I'm actually going to start with the original Beast Deity Ethics Buster, just because this really is our combo starter. This is our first ride. We do want to be on him first. Really don't want to go into the reverse first. Reverse is kind of our boss unit in a way, but this guy kind of helps us just like start up our combo and make sure that we are getting maximum attacks with our Vanguard, which is the whole point of this deck overall. So its skill auto on Vanguard Circle when placed or rode upon. Cost discard 2 cards from your hand, stand one of your units with Beast Deity in its card name, and attack your opponent's Vanguard with that unit. At the end of that battle, that unit did not hit, we have to stand that unit, and then if the attack did hit, it gets drive -1 until the end of turn. So the drive -1 until the end of turn isn't too terrible when you were speaking about reverse, just because I'll show you why in just a little bit. But overall, you just basically want to start swinging with this guy as soon as you road, pop him down. There's other units who stand this guy, obviously. You want to have like a very basic kind of... You want to have like a very basic grade 3 turn. It's really not like a rush deck necessarily. You want to obviously damage them as much as you can, but at the same time too, like your kill turn is not on this guy. It is the next turn when you hop into reverse, and its second skill over here, auto on Vanguard Circle. When your unit with Beast Deity in its card name attacks, we're going to counterblast 1, and that unit gets 5k until the end of turn. I probably would say avoid this just because we have a very greedy build going on. There are a lot of things that require a counterblast in this deck, and I think as such, we really need to conserve that for some of the other stuff that we are running in this deck. So yeah. Just kind of avoid that second skill. But moving right along, I'm going to kind of keep this over here just because I feel like so much of this is related to the next card over here. So next up, obviously, we are still running Deadliest Beast Deity Ethics Buster Reverse. Like I said, the boss unit of this deck. Let's get into its skills first off. Auto on Vanguard Circle. When your rearguard attacks and this unit is stand, lock that rearguard. So that just means when you have a rearguard, you know, it's going to swing, boom, immediately it's locked. It doesn't actually like hit, the attack doesn't go through. Anything like that, it just becomes fodder for this guy's next skill over here, which is auto when this unit attacks. This guy gets 5k until the end of turn. At the end of that battle, discard a card from your hand, choose 3 of your locked cards, unlock them, and retire those units. And then if you retired those cards, stand this unit. So when this attacks, you basically get the 5k. So when you ride onto Ethics Buster here, you're going to get that 5k automatically. Ethics Buster's rules still like apply. Like, you know, if it did hit, doesn't restand, or if it doesn't hit, you get to restand it. If it does hit, just doesn't get that extra drive. And you have, again, other things in this deck, which we'll go over in just a second to restand this. But over here, whenever you swing, you do get that 5k. The second part, there's a period there, so that second part is the cost associated with it. You don't have to do that cost to get that 5k, so a little bit extra power gain, multi-attack right off the bat with this guy, which is really cool. And then its third skill over here, when this unit attack hits, Soul Blast 1, Beast Deity, Ethics Buster, and then this unit gets an additional drive until the end of turn. So ideally, you really like don't want it to hit, and then you want your opponent to kind of let you get 3 drives, because once that happens, you start swinging for like insane amounts with this guy over here. And again, I'm running a build that really can stand this guy up once off of Ethic Buster the regular way. Over here, 1, 2, at least like three Vanguard swings I think is our real idea with this deck. This is kind of like a budget or a poor man's kind of version of Revengers in a way. I think if you get late enough into the game, I think it is technically possible to get the 4 off, but it's very few and far between. And overall, I think that the 3 attacks that we kind of get with it are fine. So that is the main boss unit and the first ride for the deck. Let's get into some other units over here. I'm not running any other grade 3s. We are no longer running the, I believe it's the Luminal Dragon. That is being run in my premium build. I'm not really focused on reverse in the premium build, which that will be coming after premium collection. So, you know, subscribe to the channel if you're not, to go make sure you can see that. But this guy over here, we're going to hop right into the grade 2s. We're no longer running any more grade 3s. This guy right here is awesome. This is Beast Deity Drainy Papio, I think that's how to say it. Brainy Papio. Its skill auto, when this card is discarded from your hand during your turn, you may call it to rear guard as rest, and that's really big because you're basically going to be calling this to rest. I believe during the main phase. There are some other points too where you discard a card from your hand during the battle phase, and even if you're not necessarily restanding this guy during the battle phase to end up being a locked fodder for your Ethics Buster reverse, I think it's still necessary to have just cards on the field, and it actually can help extend our play too with its second skill over here, auto on Van or Rearguard Circle. When the attack of your Vanguard with Beast Deity in its card name hits, we hit to counterblast Soul Blast 1, draw a card, choose up to one card with a grade 2 or less with Beast Deity in its card name from our hand, call it to Rearguard Circle, and that Rearguard gets an extra 10k until the end of turn. At the end of that turn, return that card to your hand, which is pretty cool. It really doesn't matter the 10k in this build, at least. I think in other builds it will, but overall we just really want another unit on the field to kind of attack, to lock, to get extra fodder for our Vanguard overall. And this guy, if you have the resources, kind of helps with it. So this is like definitely a necessary 4 of. I don't think there's any debate in that whatsoever. Very, very good card. Next up over here too, another card coming out of the previous clan selection. This is going to be Beast Deity Typhoon Bird. So Typhoon Bird is actually pretty interesting, and I feel like this actually is a very good card in this deck. I think that basically just helps you dig a little bit further and can, again, extend your plays with cards that you might not have had from hand, helping you bulk out a little bit longer. So its skill, act on Van or Rearguard Circle once per turn. If you have a Vanguard with Beast Deity in its card name, counterblast 1, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, call up to 1 non-grade 2 card with Beast Deity in its card name, call them to Rearguard as rest, and then shuffle your deck. And again, it's not too bad to have them as rest because there's so many things in this deck that do stand things up, which we're going to see in just a little bit. And then you can, again, potentially plus off standing that up. So overall, this guy just act on, act, search, boom, pop, cards down. There's nothing bad about it. For a counterblast, it's not that bad because, again, our Ethics Buster reverse is not actually using counterblast, which is really cool. So you have a lot of room in the deck elsewise, and you're going to see with some of these grade 2s that we're about to go over, we can be a little bit more greedy like this. So this guy over here, I know some people kind of cut this from their list, but I don't think that's correct at all. This guy is Beast Deity Black Tortoise, so its skill, act on Rearguard Circle once per turn, counterblast Soul Blast 1, stand this unit, and attack your opponent's Vanguard with it. At the end of the battle, if that attack did not hit, we stand this unit. So we're not really worried about it attacking, because once we swing with this, we're going to hold this for our second grade 3 turn, we swing with it, we lock it immediately. And it doesn't say it has to be in the front row. We can put this in the back row, pop that off, and then boom, we have another locked unit, so our Vanguard could actually take it. So now, all of a sudden, you're going to have 3 units potentially on one side of the board, 3 units on the other. So if we have one Excel marker, our Vanguard's here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the sixth one right up here. So we're gonna have 3 and 3. You're basically gonna be able to swing twice at least off of your Vanguard, 3 times really if you're riding on top of that Ethic Buster, and it's super easy to kind of get that. You just want to make sure you have the resources to do it, and this guy is super critical to do that. Like if you have 2 of these in the back row, you don't want to boost your Ethics Buster reverse, you can definitely do that. Have 2 locked units back here, swing with that third one, swing with one over here. Again, have another unit potentially swing from the back row, swing on your Excel marker. You have 3 of them, and there's other things too, again, that can extend, call things down, potentially bring you a little bit further into the game. But this is a greedy deck. You need to be greedy with this to win, I believe, and I think that this card is 100% necessary. Like, you need to fill up those back row rearguard circles with things that can actually attack so that you can pop off and actually restand your Vanguard multiple times, because restanding with those multiple crits, multiple drive checks, the pressure is absolutely insane. I think a lot of people play this deck wrong, and that's why they kind of, bash it or whatever. So I personally really love it, and I think this is key part to really making the deck work. And this guy is kind of following that same train of thought over here. This is Beast Deity Eclair Dragon, so its skill, auto when this unit is placed on rearguard circle during your main phase. If you have a grade 3 Vanguard with Beast Deity in its card name, counterblast 1, discard a card from hand. This guy gets an additional 3k until the end of turn, and it attacks your opponent's Vanguard. At the end of battle, if that attack did not hit, we stand this unit. So again, doesn't really matter. We just want to place this in the main phase, counterblast 1, discard a card from our hand, potentially discard out the, God, what was the name of it again? The Papio, so it's not like a dead card necessarily, and then boom. You can kind of combo off, chain off with the Papio, but this guy will lock in the back row. The Tortoise and this guy are not meant for the front row, they're meant for the back row. If you hold them to your second grade 3 turn, make sure that you have kind of the resources at that point to get that off. Very, very critical and necessary to making sure that you just restand your Vanguard as many times as possible. All right, getting right into the grade 1s now. So that is it for the grade 2s. Again, pretty greedy lineup overall. I know some people get like, a little cheeky with things. I forgot if Shout's a grade 2. Or I've seen some interesting grade 2s in here, but overall, like, you just want to be, whatever swings and locks is what you need to kind of propel the strategy of this deck. This is kind of like all in on that strategy. So this card over here, this one is a new card, and again, this is actually a really decent card. I feel like there's some good support for this deck, and it's just very overlooked in general. Auto when this unit is placed on Van or Rearguard Circle, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 one grade 2 or greater card with Beast Deity in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you put a card into your hand, this unit is on rearguard circle, rest this unit. So again, a lot of rests, a lot of things seem to rest. It's a big theme in the deck. I'm going to finish up with the card that kind of stands them back up. You'll see in just sorry, I can't speak. You'll see in just a second, but again, this guy just helps us get our cards into our hand, the ones that we really need, helps us fix our ride chain if you need, helps us kind of extend out the play, make sure that we have the necessary cards that we need to dig a little bit deeper into the deck, maybe to get off all the attacks in the world and lock our entire board ourselves. So very good card. Again, kind of just synergizes really well. I think that this card definitely is a necessary 4 of. Over here too, as we can see, so many things during the main phase rest, including our Vanguard, and this is an oldie but goldie card. It's been around for quite a while, but it did get the triple rare treatment as of late. This is Beast Deity, Scarlet Bird, so still 4 of these in the deck. Absolutely necessary. Need to see this every single game. It is so good. Auto on rearguard circle when placed during your main phase. Soul Blast 1, stand all of your units. If 2 or more of your units stood, and if Beast Deity White Tiger is in your soul, you draw a card. So not only are you drawing a card, but you are standing up your Vanguard again. So units that might have been called like the beep, I keep on forgetting the name of the grade 2 over here, the Papio, things that might have called as rest, you can stand them up and plus off of that. Other grade 2s that kind of go as rest, you know, maybe this guy or whatever, he could stand up, potentially attack again too in the front row. We don't care about power. We don't want our grade 2s necessarily always in the front row. You can have him rest, Scarlet Bird pops him back up, he gets attacks from the front row. This is just such a good card. You definitely need this. This is 100% necessary. And I just want to point out too that it says stand all of your units, not just rear guards, units. So again, this will stand your Vanguard. All right, over here in the last up for the main deck, we had 1 extra slot. This is going to be Beast Deity Liftaurus. So Liftaurus is actually really good, and again, I'm leaning more heavily on this in the premium build. This is definitely a 4 of in my premium build, but for the regular V, like reverse build, I think that it's not as necessary as it was previously. This skill, auto on rearguard circle, when placed during your main phase, you may stand one of your units with Beast Deity in its card name. Yep, you guessed it, it's going to be your Vanguard. Its skill, auto on Van or rearguard circle, when your Vanguard's attack hits, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 with Beast Deity in its card name, put them from among them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. If you put it into your hand, this unit is on rearguard circle, you may put this into your soul. So again, we do have a lot of Soul Blast cost between the Scarlet Bird and our what was it, obviously the Ethics Buster reversed over here, just popping out the original Ethics Buster. So I think just putting things into Soul makes it a little bit easier later on down the line, because you really don't want to Soul Blast out this, just in case. This is the starter, by the way, the one that Scarlet Bird needs, just because, yeah, because exactly that, Scarlet Bird needs it for that draw. All right, and then let me just, I guess, finish up by mentioning this is the starter you need. You actually do need this one to work with Scarlet Bird right there. So, you know, I would definitely recommend running the in-theme starter. Let's pan out and get into the triggers now. All right, hopping right into it, we're starting off with our triggers. So I actually haven't put in the grade 3 ones. I've tested them with it, but I don't have like 4 or 5 different playsets of them. I'm putting them in my premium decks. I have premium Victor right now. I have premium oh god, what is it, this Beast Deity over here as well. So I just don't want to swap them in between, but I really don't mind the heal triggers because we want to play the long game here. We're not looking to blow them out, and we are able to take some damage. I know we're trying to get to our second grade 3 turn, but overall I don't feel like this deck really has a problem with hand size necessarily. Even though you discard a lot, you plus a lot off of different things, you're drive checking a whole ton, so I feel like these are actually okay. If you want to, I would probably go 2 and 2, like a split of the grade 3 one and 2 of these guys, just because we do plan on being a little bit later into the game, and not so many decks rush us out the same way as they did previously, so might not be as necessary. But again, this whole deck is pretty greedy, and as such, my trigger lineup is no exception. I'm actually running 12 crit in this deck. There are no extra draw. You're going to see by the time you drive check, you know, three swings, potentially with like 2 of those being 3 drive checks. Like, you have a decent hand size in this deck. I never really struggle, I feel like, the same way as I did with some other you know, other Nova Grappler decks necessarily. I think this is actually really good, and it's super important to put crit pressure on your Vanguard. You know, your opponent just can't guard it at a certain point. Like, it's really difficult, and I think that the guard sentinels, those crit sentinels, really help kind of put that pressure on and still give us, you know, a decent amount of hand size, in that you don't have to like discard something else, pop that 30k shield down. So nice overall. I really enjoy this deck, and let's get into a test hand. I'll show you guys how the deck kind of plays out. All right, let's shuffle up over here and get started. So again, this actually is a pretty competitive deck overall. I would have no problem taking this to locals and even beyond, honestly, like I really think that not a lot of people know how to play against this deck. Not a lot of people realize the strategy. And if you're looking for that kind of like Revengers playstyle where, you know, you're funneling resources through your Vanguard, you want like very Vanguard centric kind of almost Overlord feeling deck, this is like a way to do that for super cheap. Like this whole deck probably put together is less than like 40 bucks if I had to say. It's probably close to like the $35 range, to be honest. It's very cheap overall, and I'm having a blast. This can be converted to premium pretty easily with just a couple other cards thrown in with the new Stride comes out. This is definitely the deck that I'm playing that with. You can play with some other ones too, don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of what caught my eye and was what I preferred. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put that 6th one back right there. Let's check out our hands. So we got a really rough hand. You guys saw me shuffle, but maybe it wasn't enough. We're going to put 4 back right here, and we'll see what we get. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, cool. So we do get a decent hand. It could be a little bit better overall, but you know, we got some of the greedy pieces kind of there, which is not the worst thing in the world. So let's see what else we can kind of conjure up along the way. And again, I am cutting over here. I want to cut on camera so nobody ever accuses me of rigging these things. All right, cool. Here we are. Going to do that, and we are going to stand and draw for our turn. Let's just pretend we go first, I guess. So we're going to stand and draw, and we are going to ride. We're going to draw off the ride. We're going to pass it over, or I'm sorry, we're going to look at 3 cards from the top of our deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 card with Beast Deity in its name, reveal it, and put it onto our thing. Let's put it over here, Beast grade 2 or less, into our hand. There we go. Oh, up to 1 grade 2 or grade. I'm sorry, I totally misread that there. You saw in my hand, that one was there as well. There we go. I was like, wait a minute, I can find my grade 3 targets with this, can I? So I put that in there, read that wrong. There we go. All right, let's go and pass it over to our opponent now. We're going to take a damage, boom, critical trigger, so it shuts off their turn. Stand and draw now. Let's go into, what do we have 2 of? I guess we have 2 of these, so let's just ride into him. Nothing too crazy, not much we want to really do. Let's go and swing at our opponent. So we're going to drive check, boom, do get another Ethics Buster right there. Dang, now I wish I got this card bird. All right, pass it over to our opponent. Let's take 1 damage, boom, power. You know what, let's just say that power kind of like shuts off their turn, like they can't hit over anymore. Stand and draw. Oh my god, so I'm drawing freaking critical triggers 2 out of 3 times so far. We are just going to ride into the Beast Deity Ethics Buster right here. And one place, we're going to discard 2 cards from hand. This is going to feel pretty bad. I'm going to discard 1, and I'm going to discard some shield right there as well. Let's put them off to the side, and then we are going to attack my opponent's Vanguard. And, you know, give them the opportunity to attack. Let's see. So let's say they guarded it or whatever. First check, second check. You know, they restands then. No minus drive, which is pretty good. And then we are going to maybe, what else are we going to do here? Let us, let me think about this. Is there anything else I really want to do? No, let's keep the rest of our hand over here. Let's just swing in again. Let's go first check, second check. There we are. All right, cool. Passing it over to our opponent now. Let's take some damage. Let's open up because we want damage. We want some, we basically want a lot of resources to kind of go into our big blowout turn, and I think we can actually pull it off pretty decently here. So let's take 1 damage. Okay, 2 damage. We just ate a Vanguard swing power. Do I want to take 1 more? I think I'm fine with 4. Honestly, I'm going to guard, you know, one of their big attacks. Let's say, boom, boom. Guard something else. I guess let's take 1 more, see if we can heal power. Ugh, sucks, we keep on getting all these crits out of deck, but we're going to stand and draw now for our turn, and we are going to ride into the reverse. So first, I know we're going to do the attack, but I just want to get our Excel marker over there and draw. And then we are going to discard 2 cards from our hand. I'm going to discard 1, and I'm going to discard, what's the second one? I'm going to discard some shield over here. And then I'm going to attack my opponent's Vanguard again. I get plus 5k here, so this is 17k. You know what? Let's flip a card. Face up, that means it hits. Face down means it didn't. Okay, face down, it did not hit, so we're going to restand this kind of. So we're going to go first check, second check. There we go, nothing. All right, so when this attack hits, though, that's when we can pull out the Ethics Buster. But we are going to restand this guy over here. And let's see, what else do I want to do? I'm going to call him down. I'm going to counterblast, soul blast. Or actually, before I do that, let's call down this girl first. We're going to go, and if you're a Vanguard Beast Deity's card name, counterblast 1, look at top 5. There we go. Call it as rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's call down this one as rest, and then shuffle these guys over here. And then when that guy is put on Van or Rear. We're gonna look at the top 3 cards and do the same thing. There we go. And it's not a cost to rest that guy, so you just do as much as the skill as possible. So even if it's rested, it's fine. We're gonna go 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna go, I think this guy down. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, let's add, yeah, that's the one I want to add. Yeah, I think that's the one I want to add to hand. That's fine. Okay. There we go. All right, so now we have to lock and do some funny shenanigans. Let's see what I want to do. Where did I put the... Yeah, I have a tortoise here. Okay, so we are going to do a couple things here. First off, we are going to counterblast Soul Blast 1. Attack from the back. And we are going to just lock this guy. Soul Blast this guy out over here, let's say. I have one more Soul Blast to kind of play with. I'm going to call him down, Soul Blast 1, not the Deity Ethics Buster, but I'm going to stand 1 and 2. Since 2 were restood, I get to draw a card off of the Scarlet Bird. Okay. Next up, I am going to call this down. I'm going to Counterblast 1, discard a card from my hand. All right, I'm just going to start from back over here. There we go. Counterblast 1, discarding a card from my hand. I'm actually going to discard one of these guys, so I don't need 3 of them in my hand, or 2 extra of them in my hand. And this guy attacks from the back row. It locks itself. And then again, we are playing a greedy deck here. We are doing this. We are going to call over, and I want to just make sure I get as many attacks as possible. I'm going to call over, use its skill, Counterblast 1. I'm going to lock itself, basically, and discard a card from my hand. I'm going to lock itself really quick, and then I am going to attack my opponent's Vanguard, which locks it, and then we're going to move into a battle phase, right? Yeah, I think we're going to go into battle phase. Let's go, let's just swing, lock. I mean, I guess we can lock everything first. Doesn't really matter. I guess it doesn't matter either way. Let's just swing with this first. So we are going to go swing at our opponent's Vanguard. This is going to be, it went from, what was this, 17 all the way up to, what is this, 22 now? So let's see, let's make it a 1 to pass. First check, second check, all effects, so it does pass, let's say. Let's also Soul Blast 1 Ethics Buster out over here so that we can then go and stand up our Vanguard and then make it have triple drive. So now we are going to unlock and retire 1, 2, 3. We're also going to discard a card from our hand. Let's just discard, I guess, this guy over here, because I really don't plan on making it to next turn. This is kind of the blowout turn. We are then going to swing. We're going to swing with everybody else first, actually. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's locked. Sorry. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. So that was 1, 2 Vanguard attacks so far. Let's see what else we can do. Let us go, and we are going to. What do I want to do? Yeah, we're going to swing over here. We're going to go first check, all effects. Second check, all effects right there. So that was my third Vanguard swing, right? 1, 2. That was my third. I'm going to use its skill, discard a. Oh, I'm sorry. And did I just drive check 3 times? No, I don't think so. That was my third check here. Okay, nothing. But I hit, what was that, 1, 2, 3 triggers on this guy. So now, and plus I swung, so it's 15 plus 30, it's 45. This is going to restand, I think, for a 57k, and it's going to swing for a 62k because I'm going to discard a card from my hand, choose 3 of my circles, unlock them, yada yada, restand him. So again, this is really, really big. And again, I'm swinging in, does not get those minus drives, which is really cool. And I'm going to swing in triple drive, 60, I think this is 62k triple drive. How many crits on here? This is 1. I think I hit heals too. I forgot to actually heal out, but it doesn't really matter. You get the idea of it. 1, 2, and 3. No crits there, nothing. But that is kind of the deck in a nutshell. Like, you really want to strive for that 4 attacks. I want to make sure I did 4, right? Reroad, that was 1. Swung for main phase, that was 1. Restoned it once, that was another, and then restood it that second time. Yeah, so that was 4 attacks with this guy, and you could see how just big it gets overall. Like, I know this is a multi-attack clan in general that usually focuses around their rear guards, with Blau's a little bit, you know, more on Vanguard centric, Victor, things of that nature, are always standing up rear guards and whatnot. But this is just such a good, powerful deck. It really does blow out your opponent when they don't. Like, you need multiple PGs to really survive this. Like, that's really actually crazy. So you're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. I really actually enjoy this deck a whole lot. Love Excel, you guys know that, and of course I do like my Novas, even though nobody else does. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I know I might not have done everything as ideal as I probably could be doing with the discard and such during the test hand, but you know, trying to talk through things and not think them all through, just make sure the flow of the video goes is difficult sometimes. So thank you guys for watching. Again, anything, let me know down in the comments below. This is Alex from Team Generations, signing out.